Okay, so at the start, gone too far there. So setup was good. I think so. Top of the backswing now. We're getting that club to the top of the backswing. Certainly a lot more square. It's not so cupped and over the top and open, which is good. And the same in this, because obviously with the right hand one. Okay, the transition down now, a little bit with that kind of right shoulder kind of going forwards. Club now getting a little bit outside the hands, as we can see here. Coming at the golf ball now, the club, as you can see, outside the golf ball here. That is going to lead itself, if I go back to that frame there, that is going to lead to sort of parts of the golf club we want to avoid with the path going that way. And there ain't much future from that position. The gap between your hands and your legs here, again, is just a little bit too big, as we said, and you just lost a bit of control. The body's not working too much from there now, but you've just thrown the club here with that shoulder, and then you try to sort of save it by slowing down. So this one coming down now, arms are working down more kind of your chest line. Hands working in here, you sort of go frame by frame here now where the club ends up there. Much better. Arms are into your body. The gap there between your legs and your hands, you can see a lot closer.
Yeah.
Club working into the golf ball here now. Down the target line, much better contact. Middle part of the screen, and then through to, again, a nice full twist through to the body, okay? Yeah, I mean, that's probably more of a characteristic with your right foot there, but at least it shows you've twisted. I'd rather see in some ways more of that than nothing at all now, because you're actually releasing the club so much better than you were a year or two ago. Yeah. Whereas in the past, you did that, you would end up hitting the ball kind of like, wee, over here. Yeah. Now your club's squarer. It's square at the top of the backswing. It's square to there now. You can release it. That's a sign you sort of release your body comfortably. I think you'd on this one, if you're fair. Was it there? Yeah, it's fine. Bit of a kick through with the foot there in some ways, which wasn't the ideal thing, but that's kind of where the shanks come from, because you had a bit of a funky contact. You're like, ugh, out there slightly, okay? So getting the body working better is going to be the key. I think in terms of the drill, is swing to the top of the backswing here now. As you come back down, feel the club kind of working down way behind kind of here somewhere. So it just feels almost like that just in rows, because once you then put speed to that, the club goes whoosh and swings around in front of you, okay? So over-exaggerate the feeling, get the club stuck behind effectively, and then that sort of jet ski sort of exaggerate. We said that your body's the boat and the jet ski's the club, sort of flinging itself on the outside. Get that club back in, okay? If you start hitting those sort of smothery, hooky ones, I would say chances are for you one or two things happening, okay? And just be aware of where your body is kind of finishing. Yeah. If you're over the top, pulling it low left, okay, it's probably more your right shoulder throwing the club over, and there's your pulling, okay? If you're in the old sort of drop kicky ones like that, it means your body's kind of getting, just stopping, and going, and you're just dropping the club in behind the ball there, okay? So just getting that timing there, and I think, as I said, understanding what your tendencies are, and at least then you go, okay, if I'm doing this, or that, I can get a cure for one of those three. Yeah. And that's kind of what you need to do. There's no point on the golf course going, oh, Christ, what am I doing wrong? You just play 12 holes and get 12 points. And that's kind of what the case is.
Knew I was coming. That Saturday just didn't outstop it.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing. I think with the feeling of that, when you know the club's come to the top, doing some drills, doing some over-exaggerated swings, always exaggerate. Think of your golf swing as like a bit of Play-Doh or plasticine, okay? If we want to try to manipulate that and change its shape, we're not going to go and just nudge it a little bit. We're going to go and like yank it into position, loads and loads off position, to then readjust its shape. If you just move it a little bit, it's changed shape, you let go, it'll revert back to its normal shape. And again, if you're making practice swings to try and get the club back down to kind of in this position, but doing it fairly slowly, okay, to get the club here, when you put speed to that, ta-da, the club's out there. Because speed is going to create this energy of the club working in this direction, which is why you want to feel it almost more so behind you. The wall drill we done in the past, again, all this sort of exaggerated feeling the club working back here, and then you can release the club through. Again, with the driver, it's tough if you're coming over the top there with no loft, it's just a smother. I think with that in mind, with the driver, so we say, if I try and, this is my drawing, okay? Bit of a stick man go, okay, right. So if this is you with a driver here now, okay, I've got a red one's a golf club in your arms, so there's your arms there, okay, there's the driver, okay. I don't want to see you, okay, with your head a different colour, with your head back here and your spine angle back here, hitting way underneath it, kind of that way, okay. You need to be more neutral. Yes, the ball is further forward, okay, which therefore puts your hands slightly more in a different position, okay, and in turn your right hand is low on your left, so your right shoulder is low on your left, but don't start tilting your spine too much. The more you bring this right foot back, the more you just end up this way, and then when you try to come in the golf ball, you're so far underneath it, you're just going to be flip hooking it or topping it, okay. With the driver, even though you're not hitting a divot, you effectively want to be hitting slightly down or more level to it rather than up 10 degrees. Yes, hitting up on the ball can hit the ball further, but you need that 3 degrees of loft on the driver, and the tee is about 4 foot long.
Yeah.
Okay, if the tee's a pink tee and a 10-degree drive, hit it up on the boy, or the top it'll hit it 19 degrees up in the air and going nowhere. So those last 2 or 3, your ideal launch conditions are around anywhere between 10, 11, 12, 13, that kind of number, okay? Think of the loft of your golf club, somewhere around that loft there, okay?
Yeah.
If you increase it a little bit, 12, 13, you get the 240 right there, maybe the 250. Fade was 240, draw was, fade was 239, draw was 249, okay? It was clutching at 1 yard, okay? A bit more down, it'll go an extra yard, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, if it's going up at 8 degrees, it'll probably go about 220, 230. If it's going at 18, 19 degrees, it'll barely reach 200 yards, okay? And that's just you coming so far behind, you just can't get back to the golf ball. You catch bottom 2 or 3 grooves and just nothing. Exactly. Okay, mate?